Well, first up on the Southern View this evening, the big national story, the political fallout of Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar's sudden resignation last evening. Why did he resign so suddenly at the end of day one of the monsoon session? That's the big question, and Vasudha has been searching for answers, speaking to the power centers across the aisle. Health is the official word, Vasudha, but no one's willing to buy that. The timing only adds to speculation of a deep rupture between him and the ruling establishment.
That's right, Veera. Jagdeep Dhankhar, once seen as an expert on constitutional matters and the defender of the government's legislative agenda, had grown increasingly assertive and some say unpredictable. He holds the record for suspending over 160 opposition MPs. The opposition also wanted him out, but that was over a year ago. Things have changed. Talking about recent developments, Jagdeep Dhankhar's decision to allow an opposition-backed impeachment motion against Justice Yashwant Verma tied to a controversial cash recovery case was seen as a break from the government's line. Sources said that had he kept the government in the loop, even NDA MPs would have signed. Accountability of judiciary is something that this government has been pushing for. On the day of his resignation, which is Monday, two key ministers skipped a crucial BAC meeting that was chaired by Jagdeep Dhankhar. They later clarified that they had informed him, but they had more important parliamentary engagement. So did Jagdeep Dhankhar's approval of the impeachment motion against Justice Verma break an unspoken line with the government? Was it all about health? What really was a final trigger for his resignation? That's what we discuss now, and also what happens next. Joining us now is Dr. Kalanidhi Veeraswamy of the DMK. He's an MP from the DMK. We have G. Kumar Nayak, who's also an MP. He's from the Congress party. He's from the Lok Sabha. We also have Amitabh Tiwari, who's a political strategist. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Mr. Veeraswamy, to you first, sir. How does the DMK, as an opposition party with significant numbers, look at the recent episode?
Good evening to everybody. See, the thing is, like you said, it was a very surprising decision, and it was a shocking decision actually, and mainly so because about 10 days back, he had made a statement saying that he will be lasting till 2027 August, till his term completes. But unless there is some kind of a divine intervention. So we wonder what kind of a divine intervention has made him to resign in such a hasty manner, and especially when he had made it very clear that he had no intention of resigning. So we have seen our Prime Minister talking about his divine birth and all those things. So whether there is any divinity from there which has made the Vice President take this kind of a decision. Because if you see what has transpired yesterday, there was a motion where the opposition parties had for the Justice Verma. I mean, the issue was being raised by the opposition parties, which the Vice President had allowed. And the talk is that the BJP ministers and the Prime Minister were unhappy about that. And there was talk that some ministers have spoken to Mr. Dhankar, following which he has gone and met the Honorable President and tendered his resignation. And in fact,
all this is conjuncture at this stage. Yes. Mr. Veeraswamy, all this is conjuncture at this stage. We don't have a BJP spokesperson or a BJP MP in the panel because they've refused to join debate. But Mr. Nayak, the opposition until a few weeks ago was gunning for Mr. Dhankar. What's changed in the opposition stand today that you're turning around the table?
No, good evening. The news has definitely taken all of us by surprise because the Vice President was quite active till the last minute. He chaired a meeting of advisory committee, business advisory committee meeting. So subsequently, after 2-3 hours, the entire scenario has changed and he has resigned. And he has given the grounds that health issues and things like that. Okay, so I think this is not the time right now to start our speculation. He is a very senior constitutional officer. It is important that we give him that dignity and space. Let's wait for a couple of days more, because it's the very first instance in the entire 70 years of history that the Vice President has resigned on this kind of ground. I feel that we should give him that space.
Okay, fair enough.
All that speculation will start
after
a couple of days.
Nayak, that's a very fair point, and we
also let me point out that he is a
yes, sir. Please go on.
And let me just add that he is an extremely proud kind of a politician. We have seen him assert his views at different fora, and he has stood for the welfare of farmers, and he is a very proud person. He is not going to keep quiet for long if he has been hurt to take this stand. Okay. Let's wait for the person to cool down, and he will be in public life. He will come out
saying,
with
Mr. Naik, and I think there are so many valid points there.
Yeah.
Mr. Dhankar clearly not somebody who will keep quiet, and he has been, for a Congress person to speak like that, it's also quite intriguing about about Jagdeep Dhankhar. Dr. Sonal Mansingh, who's a former Rajya Sabha MP, also joins us now. Thank you, Dr. Mansingh, for being part of this broadcast. Ma'am, how do you see this episode of Jagdeep Dhankhar's resignation? Do you think that there is something amiss, and what do you remember about your tenure when he was the chairperson?
I was there for almost 2.5 years, ever since he came, before my term ended last year. He was certainly, when he came in, he was full of beans, very strong, and of course everyone saw that he was with the government, and opposition was always up to some trick or other, as usual. And he handled them, he tackled them all. He was accused quite often of not giving them time, but I think that has happened down the years anyway. The thing is that health was one issue, of course, that he fell down in Nainital meeting unconscious, and then he was in AIMS, and then he had a stent put in the heart. But the things must have been also building up behind the scene. It can't be so sudden that the Vice President of India resigns. But the tipping point might have been what the gentleman was mentioning. The thing, it must have been building up. It's not so simple. Nothing is as simple as it looks. And I think we should know the real reasons behind. But whatever I heard from several of my colleagues, ex-colleagues, they still keep up with me. It was very unfortunate. It was very, very unfortunate. See, had it been well planned in a way, then he would not have even conducted the first day, the opening day of the monsoon session. And he had planned a trip to Jaipur, I think, today or tomorrow, and all that. So the tipping point came, perhaps, in a way that was not expected. Well, what to say? One can wish him well and thank him for the services he rendered as Vice President and Chairman of Rajya Sabha. But I really pray and hope that there was nothing very, very hard facts one has to know before one even says something more.
Hard facts one has to know before saying something more. You're making a very, very important point, Sonal Mansingh, there. Amitabh Tiwari, health is the official word. No one's willing to buy that because of the timing there. Till there is categorical clarity, obviously this will open the treasury benches to attack from the opposition, A, and B, more importantly, we have not seen an incident of this nature play out since 2014. So the image and the optics is also one of concern for the BJP.
Yes, clearly, I mean, this has given some ammunition to the opposition, but it also does act as a deflection point on certain important key issues like the discussion on Operation Sindoor or the SIR, etc., etc. So it's also act as a deflection. So they could be diverted towards discussing the resignation of Vice President Dhankar. It also seems that, of course, there will be speculation unless the government comes out with a clear point or the VP himself makes some statement. We will not be able to know exactly what is the reason. It could have been building for some time. It could also be a spur of the moment decision, an emotional decision where he might not have felt well during some exchanges with the government. Okay. It also seems that BJP's experiment of appointing non-RSS members on constitutional bodies, including Satyapal Malik, somehow this has not worked politically for them.
Okay.
Correct. So
That's a very important point. Let me ask this question to Dr. Sonal Mansingh. Ma'am, I want to come back to what you were talking about. Do you see the Jagdeep Dhankar's appointment as also out of the ordinary? And like Mr. Tiwari is saying, that does it make more sense to have people who are ideologically grounded in important posts, especially when the BJP is ruling? Does it really suit the party better?
I'm not really competent to comment on it, but one had heard that Dhankarji had been through other parties also, in the sense that he was from this party to that and then came to BJP, and that he was a lawyer also. He was fighting the case, some very important cases for RSS and BJP, and he enjoyed respect and confidence. So that's why they put him as governor of West Bengal, and he really took up his job very, very seriously, visiting the victims, and several things he did, which didn't go down well with the chief minister there, but he held his ground. And so he was brought to Delhi and installed in such an important post. Vice President of India is something that's number 2, next only to the President of India. But then, well, we have seen the developments, and as I said, that let's pray for the dignity and grace of the post, and let not people sort of speculate too much. And if the government has to say something, they will come out with it. Nothing can be held back for too long. But then let it go with dignity. This is what I think.
It's an important point that you're making there, ma'am. Do you believe that, but as you're saying that dignity to be restored, there has to be categorical clarity from the government and from the Vice President himself on what transpired. Till that happens, there will be a cloud hanging over this exit.
Well, the clouds do disperse, and one only hopes that the speculations will come to an end. As I said, too much the shabdon ki maya jal, too much talking about it without knowing really what happened. That also spoils the atmosphere. So I really want to pray and say that, the dignity and the grace of the chair and of the person who occupied it till 2 days ago, and the dignity and grace of the government, of the Prime Minister, who in all confidence installed him in the chair. Let all that be intact. Of course, it is for everyone, it's a matter of great interest. There's nothing else that people are talking about now. That will happen because this is something very, very unusual and out of the blue as it seems. But then again, nothing is a coincidence.
Absolutely, Dr. Mansingh, they're making some very critical points, and thank you, Dr. Sonal Mansingh, for your valuable time. Mr. Veerasamy, also talk to us about the circumstances of Jagdeep Dhankar's departure, because this comes in the midst of, the Parliament moving this motion against former Justice, in fact, Justice Yashwant Verma. What is the future then of this debate on executive-legislative balance in India? Jagdeep Dhankar used to keep talking about it. This was something that everybody wanted because there was a lot of cash that was discovered at this judge's house. How does the DMK look at the circumstances of Jagdeep Dhankar's departure?
See, the thing is, the Honorable Vice President, former Vice President, has been very clear about his thoughts on what has happened in the judiciary, be it about the powers of the judiciary or about this Justice Verma case. And in fact, when the opposition brought in for this discussion, and the discussion was taken up where the government was totally taken aback because they had no idea what was hitting them. And then when the leader of the ruling party, Mr. J.P. Nadda, got up and spoke, he had the audacity and temerity when the opposition members were raising their points. He was saying that nothing you say will go on record. You should know this. See, that is something which is the prerogative of the chair. So a member, he is only a member. See, though he may be the
That's been
BJP
clarified.
party leader and leader of the house and all those things, he is a member where all ruling has to come from the chair. But here, JP Nadda had the temerity to say that nothing you say will be going on record. And
But
you
that's
should
been
know
clarified as well by Mr. Nadda. He has clarified as well, but my question to you, Mr. Naik, no, I'm not defending anyone here, but I'm just saying that, Mr. Naik, do you believe that this exit is going to cloud the entire session, or will the opposition move forward from this and get to the issues that was the focus before this resignation?
No, let me narrate what happened chronologically for everybody to
Opposition
understand.
is very
This
clear.
happened in the parliament, and subsequently there was supposed to be a BAC meeting where the vice president was expecting that the leader of the ruling party and the minister for parliamentary affairs, both of them had skipped that meeting. So that was probably, I don't know.
Absolutely, that's a very important point. Both Kiran Rijiju, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, and JP Nadda, who's the leader of the House, had skipped that meeting, and that really, Veera, we were in the Parliament then, and that was what got us thinking as to what really is happening. And there's this whole multiple MPs coming to lodge their signatures there also got us thinking. Mr. Naik, Veera's question here.
Can I just quickly complete one point over here?
Yes, quickly.
In 2014, since 2014, it has become the new norm that the Prime Minister of this country will not attend the House. See, prior to that, all the Prime Ministers had made it a point that they would attend the House because that is their important work where they are answerable.
Okay, the point taken, Mr. Naik, the Prime Minister leaves for UK today. Veera's question here, what happens to the agenda that the opposition had decided upon? Would that continue, or is Dhankar's departure going to overshadow the entire session?
Continuing with what our DMK friend has been narrating, all I feel is that opposition will not be wavering from its single-minded focus on important issues which concern the people, starting with Pahalgam attack and the Operation Sindoor and our success and failure of our foreign policy and things like that, and a host of issues and host of bills which are going to come up. We will not waver from that. This, I feel, is an internal party issue of BJP. The only ideological issue that I would like to comment upon is that the real ideology here is authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is not going to hurt just the people of this country or the opposition party. It is going to hurt the people who are very close to them. That is when you will understand the true nature of what is authoritarian regime
the entire scenario.
is.
Mr. Amitabh Tiwari, two last questions to you, sir. One, who do you see as replacing Jagdeep Dhankhar? What do you think the parameters of this personality could be? And also, most importantly, do you think that Jagdeep Dhankhar had become politically independent in the last few days, specifically with his private meetings with certain opposition leaders? Because that is being talked about a lot.
No, clearly he had a mind of his own, and he used to make very independent statements on various key issues which are grappling the nation. On the names, it is very, very difficult to say. I mean, what name would come, because in BJP's textbook, name guessing is very difficult. But I would link it to also the ongoing issues which the BJP and RSS are facing with the appointment of the BJP president, correct? So since Jagdeep Dhankhar ji was not from an RSS background, I think this time the vice president will be definitely from an RSS background person.
Absolutely. Thank you all of you for
settle.
Absolutely, Mr. Tiwari, your point taken. Thank you all of you for being part of this
broadcast. This is high time that this difference between BJP and RSS is erased.
Okay, so that is topic for another day.
That you're making.
But yes, Jagdeep Dhankhar's resignation is going to overshadow the entire session. That looks like the case now, but clearly doesn't seem to be a personal health choice, although that is what he has said. But more importantly, will this completely overshadow the topics at the agenda that the opposition has picked up? Veera, something that we will have to wait and watch out for.